It's Wednesday, Wednesday, May 21st, and we're continuing our Bible reading. We're trying to read the Old Testament in a month, May 19th to June 19th. So, if you guys haven't watched day 1 or day 2, make sure y'all hit the videos Monday and Tuesday. Both fairly long. So let's get here. So yesterday we were able to read Genesis 30, and we were able to read all the way to Exodus 3. So we read a great chunk of Genesis. Now we actually finished Genesis yesterday, which is actually pretty cool. So let me pull up Bible Gateway here. And we're going to read through our computer. Yesterday we read through our phone. Why is it taking me back to the planner? Gateway. Bible Gateway. So today, Exodus 4 to Exodus 28. Pretty good read today because Exodus is super dense. But let's get to it. 11:37. I'm gonna try and finish this thing quicker than my last other streams. But why is it not taking me to Gateway? There it is. And we're going to be reading through the ESV. So, ESV is our reading. ESV. So, let's get straight to it. Get into the book of Exodus. Golly. Why is it not? Get into the book of Exodus. Alright. Exodus chapter 4. Here we go. Then Moses answered, "But behold, they will not believe me or listen to my voice, for they will say, 'The Lord did not appear to you.' The Lord said to him, what is that in your hand?" He said, "A staff." And he said, "Throw it on the ground." So he threw it on the ground, and it became a serpent, and Moses ran from it. But the Lord said to Moses, "Put out your hand and catch it by the tail." So he put out his hand and caught it, and it became a staff in his hand. That they may believe that the Lord, the God of their fathers, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob, has appeared to you. Again, the Lord said to him, "Put your hand inside your cloak." And he put his hand inside his cloak, and when he took it out, behold, his hand was leprous, like snow. Then God said, "Put your hand back inside your cloak." So he put his hand back inside his cloak. When he took it out, behold, it was restored like the rest of his flesh. "If they will not believe you," God said, "or listen to the signs, they may believe." If they will not believe you, God said, or listen to the first sign, they may believe the later sign. If they will not believe even these two signs, or listen to your voice, you shall take some water from the Nile and pour it on the dry ground, and the water that you will take from the Nile will become blood on the dry ground. But Moses said to the Lord, "Oh my Lord, I am not eloquent, either in the past or since you have spoken to your servant, but I am low of speech and tongue." Then the Lord said to him, "Who has made man's mouth? Who makes him mute or deaf or seeing or blind? Is it not I, the Lord? Now therefore go, and I will be your mouth and teach you what you shall speak." But he said, "Oh, my Lord, please send someone else." Then the anger of the Lord was kindled against Moses, and he said, "Is there not Aaron your brother, the Levite? I know that he can speak well. Behold, he is coming out to meet you, and when he sees you, he will be glad um, in his heart. You shall speak to him and put the words in his mouth, and I will be your mouth and with his mouth, and will teach you both what to do. He shall speak for you to the people, and he shall be your mouth, and you shall be as God to him. And take in your hand his staff, with which you shall do the signs." Man, I really like this Exodus, um, Exodus, Exodus 4 verses 12. "Now therefore go, I will be your mouth and teach you." No. Verses 11. "Then the Lord said to him, Who has made man's mouth? Who makes it mute? Who or deaf or seeing or blind? Is it not I, the Lord? Now therefore go, and I will be your mouth." So like God is just showing like, I am sending you here, and I will accomplish my work through you. Just be willing, right? Moses just had to be willing because God wanted to use him. Verses 18. "Moses went back to Jethro, his father-in-law, and said to him, Please let me go back to my brothers in Egypt to see whether they are still alive. And Jethro said to Moses, Go in peace. And the Lord said to Moses in Midian, Go back to Egypt, for all the men who are seeking your life are dead." So Moses took his wife and his sons and had them ride on a donkey and went back to the land of Egypt. And Moses took the staff of God in his hand. And the Lord said to Moses, "When you go back to Egypt, see that you do before Pharaoh and all the miracles that I have put in your power. But I will harden his heart so that he will not let the people go. And you shall say to the Pharaoh, Thus says the Lord, Israel is my firstborn. And I say to you, Let my son go that he may serve me. If you refuse to let me go, if you refuse to let him go, behold, I will kill your firstborn." At a lodging place on the way, the Lord met him and sought to put him to death. Interesting. So the Lord sought to put him to death. That's actually crazy. Genesis 4. Y'all go read Genesis 4:24. The Lord almost killed Moses. Then Zipporah took a flint and cut off her son's foreskins and touched Moses' feet with it and said, "Surely you are a bridegroom of blood to me." So he let him alone. It was then that she said, "A bridegroom of blood," because of the circumcision. Oh my goodness. Then Zipporah took a flint and cut off her son's foreskins and touched Moses' feet with it and said, "Oh my goodness, that's gross. I'm not gonna lie. That's a gross section right there. That's a gross verse. Verses 27. The Lord said to Aaron, "Go into the wilderness to meet Moses." So he went and met him at the mountain of God and kissed him. And Moses told Aaron all the words of the Lord with which he had sent him to speak, and all the signs that he had commanded him to do. Then Moses and Aaron went and gathered together all the elders of the people of Israel. Aaron spoke all the words that the Lord had spoken to Moses, and did the signs in the sight of the people. And the people believed. And when they heard that the Lord had visited the people of Israel, and that he had seen their affliction, they bowed their heads and worshipped. So that is Exodus chapter 4. Beautiful there. So Moses almost dies because God almost kills him. That's such an interesting Bible verse, or just an interesting section. Chapter 5. Afterwards, Moses and Aaron went and said to Pharaoh, "Thus says the Lord God of Israel, Let my people go, that they may hold a feast to me in the wilderness." But Pharaoh said, "Who is the Lord, that I should obey his voice and let Israel go? I do not know the Lord. And moreover, I will not let Israel go." Then they said, "The God of the Hebrews has met with us. Please let us go a 3 days journey into the wilderness, that we may sacrifice to the Lord our God, lest he fall upon us with the pestilence or with the sword." But the king of Egypt said to them, "Moses and Aaron, why do you take the people away from their work? Get back to your burdens." And Pharaoh said, Behold, the people of the land are now many, and you make them rest from their burdens. You rest from their burdens. The same day Pharaoh commanded the taskmasters of the people and their foremen, you shall no longer give the people straw to make bricks, as in the past. Let them go and gather straw for themselves. But the number of the bricks that they made in the past, you shall impose on them. You shall by no means reduce it, for they are idle. Therefore they cry, let us go and offer sacrifices to our God. Let heavier work be laid on the men, that they may labor at it and pay no regard to lying words. So the taskmasters and the foremen of the people went out and said to the people, thus says Pharaoh, I will not give you straw. Go and get your straw yourselves, wherever you can find it, for your work will not be reduced in the least. So the people were scattered throughout all the land of Egypt to gather stubble for straw. The taskmasters were urgent, saying, complete your work, your daily task each day, as when there was straw. And the foremen of the people of Israel, whom Pharaoh's taskmasters had set over them, were beaten and asked, why have you not done all your task of making bricks today, and yesterday as in the past? Then the foremen of the people of Israel came and cried to Pharaoh, why do you treat your servants like this? No straw is given to your servants, yet they say to us, make bricks, and behold, your servants are beaten, but the fault is in your own people. But he said, you are idle, you are idle. That is why you say, let us go and sacrifice to the Lord. Go now and work. No straw will be given to you. Wait. I lost my spot. No straw will be given to you, but you must deliver the same number of bricks. The foremen of the people of Israel saw that they were in trouble when they said, you shall by no means reduce your number of bricks, your daily task each day. They met Moses and Aaron, who were waiting for them as they came from Pharaoh. And they said to them, the Lord look on you and judge, because you have made us stink in the sight of Pharaoh and his servants, and put his sword in their hand to kill us. So it's getting crazier. Then Moses turned to the Lord and said, oh Lord, why have you done evil to this people? Why did you ever send me? For since I came to Pharaoh to speak in your name, he has done evil to his people, and you have not delivered your people at all. So, interesting there. 6. But the Lord said to Moses, now you shall see that I will do to Pharaoh, for with a strong hand he will send them out with a strong hand. He will deliver them out of his hand. God spoke to Moses and said to him, I am the Lord, I appeared to Abraham, to Isaac, and to Jacob as God Almighty. But by my name, the Lord, I did not make myself known to them. I also established my covenant with them to give them the land of Canaan, the land in which they live as sojourners. Moreover, I have heard the groaning of the people of Israel, whom the Egyptians hold as slaves. I have remembered my covenant, saying therefore to the people of Israel, I am the Lord, I will bring you out from under the burdens of the Egyptians. I will deliver you from the slavery. I will deliver you from slavery to them, and I will redeem you with an outstretched arm, with great acts of judgment. I will take you to be my people, and I will be your God, and you shall know that I am the Lord your God, who has brought you out from the under burdens of the Egyptians. I will bring you into the land that I swore to Abraham, to Isaac, and to Jacob. I will give it to you for a possession. I am the Lord. Moses spoke thus to the people of Israel, but they did not listen to Moses because of their broken spirit and harsh slavery. So the Lord said to Moses, go and tell Moses, king of Egypt, to let the people of Israel go out of this land. But Moses said to the Lord, behold, the people of Israel have not listened to me. How then shall Pharaoh listen to me? For I am of uncircumcised lips. But the Lord spoke to Moses and Aaron and gave them a charge about the people of Israel and about the Pharaoh king of Egypt, to bring the people of Israel out of the land of Egypt. These are the heads of their fathers' houses, the sons of Reuben, the firstborn of Israel, Hanach, Palau, Zeron, Cameron. These are the clans of Reuben, the sons of Simon, Jemuel, Jamin, Ohad, Jachin, Zahor, Shaul, sons of Canaanite women. These are the clans of Simon. These are the names of the sons of Levi according to their genealogies. Gershon, Kohath, and Merari, the years of the life of Levi being 137 years. The sons of Gershon, Libni, Shammai by the clans. The sons of Kohath, Amram, Azar, Hebron, Uziel. The years of life of Kohath being 133 years. The sons of Merari, Mahali, Mushi. These are the clans of the Levites according to their generations. Amram took as his wife Jochebed, his father's sister, and she bore him Aaron and Moses. The years of the life of Amram being 137 years. The sons of Izhar, Korah, Nepheg, Zikri. The sons of Uziel, Mishiel, Elzaphan, and Sethiri. Aaron took as his wife Elisheba, the daughter of Aminadab, and the sister of Nahosha. And she bore him not Nadab, Abihu, Eleazar, Ithamar. The sons of Korah, Asher, Elkanah, Abisah. These are the clans of the Korahites. Eleazar, Aaron's son, took as his wife one of the daughters of Putiel, and she bore him Phinehas. These are the heads of the fathers' houses of the Levites by their clans. These are the Aaron and the Moses to whom the Lord said, "Bring out the people of Israel from the land of Egypt by their hosts." It was they who spoke to Pharaoh, king of Egypt, about bringing out the people of Israel from Egypt. This Moses and this Aaron. On the day when the Lord spoke to Moses in the land of Egypt, the Lord said to Moses, "I am the Lord. Tell Pharaoh, king of Egypt, all that I say to you." But Moses said to the Lord, "Behold, I am of uncircumcised lips. How will Pharaoh listen to me?" So Moses keeps saying, but like he has Aaron though. Moses keeps saying like, I can't speak. And Pharaoh, like the people aren't listening to me. Like, how is Pharaoh supposed to listen to me? And man, back again, how many times has Moses said this? I should be tracking out. I think it's like 4 times so far. Like Moses, like, I'm of uncircumcised lips. Chapter 7. And the Lord said to Moses, "See, I have made you like God to Pharaoh, and your brother Aaron will be your prophet. You shall speak all that I command you, and your brother Aaron shall tell Pharaoh to tell the people of Israel, 'Go out of this land.' But I will harden Pharaoh's heart, and though I multiply my signs and wonders in the land of Egypt, Pharaoh will not listen to you. Then I will lay my hand on Egypt and bring my host, my people, the children of Israel, out of the land of Egypt by great acts of judgment. The Egyptians shall know that I am the Lord when I stretch out my hand against Egypt and bring out the people of Israel from among them." Moses and Aaron did so. They did just as the Lord commanded them. Now Moses was 80 years old, and Aaron 83 years old when they spoke to Pharaoh. 80 years old? I didn't know they were that old. 80? Sheesh. They're doing mighty deeds at 80 years old. So they're 80 years old. So Aaron is 83 years old, and Moses is 80 years old. Huh. Then the Lord said to Moses and Aaron, "When Pharaoh says to you, 'Prove yourself by working a miracle,' then you shall say to Aaron, 'Take your staff and cast it down before Pharaoh, that it may become a serpent.'" So Moses and Aaron went to Pharaoh and did just as the Lord commanded. Aaron cast down his staff before Pharaoh and his servants, and it became a serpent. The Pharaoh summoned the wise men and the sorcerers, and they, the magicians of Egypt, also did the same by their secret arts. For each man cast down his staff. They became serpents. But Aaron's staff swallowed up their staffs. Still Pharaoh's heart was hardened, and he would not listen to them as the Lord had said. Then the Lord said to Moses, "Pharaoh's heart is hardened. He refuses to let the people go. Go to Pharaoh in the morning as he is going out to the water. Stand on the bank of the Nile to meet him, and take in your hand and staff that turned into a serpent. And you shall say to him, 'The Lord, the God of the Hebrews, sent me to you, saying, Let my people go that they may serve me in the wilderness.' but so far you have not obeyed. Thus says the Lord, by this you shall know that I am the Lord. Behold, with the staff that is in my hand, I will strike the water that is in the Nile, and it shall turn into blood. The fish in the land, the fish in the Nile shall die, and the Nile will stink, and the Egyptians will grow weary of drinking water from the Nile. The Lord said to Moses, say to Aaron, take your staff and stretch out your hand over the waters of Egypt, over the rivers, their canals, their ponds, and all their pools of water, so that they may become blood. And there shall be blood throughout all the land of Egypt, even in the vessels of wood and in vessels of stone. Moses and Aaron did as the Lord commanded in the sight of Pharaoh and the sight of his servants. He lifted up his staff and struck the water in the Nile, and all the water in the Nile turned into blood, and the fish in the Nile died, and the Nile stank, so that the Egyptians could not drink water from the Nile. There was blood throughout all the land of Egypt, but the musicians of Egypt did the same by their secret arts. So Pharaoh's heart remained hardened, and he would not listen to them, as the Lord had said. Pharaoh turned and went into his house, and he did not take even this to heart. And all the Egyptians dug along the Nile for water to drink, for they could not drink the water of the Nile. 7 full days passed after the Lord had struck the Nile. So, wait, that's how chapter 7 ends? That's interesting. 7 days had passed since the Lord struck the Nile. Then the Lord said to Moses, go into Pharaoh and say to him, thus says the Lord, let my people go that they may serve me. But if you refuse to let them go, behold, I will plague all your country with frogs. Now the Nile shall swim with frogs that shall come up in your house and into your bedroom, and on your bed, and into the houses of your servants and your people, and into your ovens and your kneading bowls. The frog shall come up on you and on your people, on all your servants. And the Lord said to Moses, say to Aaron, stretch out your hand with your staff over the rivers, over the canals, over the pools. Make frogs come up on the land of Egypt. So Aaron stretched out his hand over the waters of Egypt, and frogs came up and covered the land of Egypt. But the musicians did the same by their secret arts and made frogs come up on the land of Egypt. The musicians are making the same miracles as they are. They're mimicking. I think that's really interesting. So Pharaoh's is like, Pharaoh's probably doesn't even care here. Then Pharaoh called Moses and Aaron and said, plead with the Lord to take away the frogs from me and from my people, and I will let the people go to sacrifice to the Lord. Moses said to Pharaoh, be pleased to command me when I am to plead for you and for your servants and for your people, that the frogs be cut off from you and your houses and be left only in the Nile. And he said, tomorrow. Moses said, be as you say, so that you may know that there is no one like the Lord our God. The frogs shall go away from you and your houses and your servants and your people. They shall be left only in the Nile. So Moses and Aaron went out from Pharaoh, and Moses cried out to the Lord about the frogs, as he had agreed with Pharaoh. And the Lord did according to the words of Moses. The frogs died out in the houses, the courtyards, and the fields, and they gathered them together in heaps, and the land stank. But when Pharaoh saw that there was a respite, he hardened his heart and would not listen to them as the Lord had said. I don't know what that word is. Let me search up this word real quick. Can I look up rest? A short period of rest or relief from something difficult or unpleasant. Respite. Respite. So it's like a short period of rest or relief from something difficult. So after he had rested and chilling for a little bit, then I think it's really interesting how God listens to Moses, and then Pharaoh hardens his heart. It's just, I think this whole thing is it's very interesting. Very interesting. Actually, let me write this thing down. I reckon. Verse 16. Then the Lord said to Moses, say to Aaron, stretch out your hand and your staff and strike the dust of the earth, so that it may become gnats in all the land of Egypt. And they did so. Aaron stretched out his hand and with his staff and struck the dust of the earth, and there were gnats on man and beast. All the dust of the earth became gnats in all the land of Egypt. The magicians tried by their secret arts to produce the gnats, but they could not. So there were gnats on man and beast. Then the magicians said to Moses, this is the finger of God. But Moses' heart was hardened, and he would not listen to them, as the Lord had said. And the Lord said to Moses, rise up early in the morning and present yourself to Pharaoh as he goes out to the water, and say to him, thus says the Lord, let my people go that they may serve me. Else if you will not let my people go, behold, I will send swarms of flies on you and your servants and your people and in your houses. And the houses of the Egyptians shall be filled with swarms of flies, and also ground on which they stand. But on that day I will set apart the land of Goshen, where my people dwell, so that no swarms of flies shall be there, that you may know that I am the Lord in the midst of the earth. Thus I will put a division between my people and your people. Tomorrow this sign shall happen. And the Lord did so. There came great swarms of flies into the houses of Pharaoh and into his servants' houses. Throughout all the land of Egypt, the land was ruined by the swarms of flies. Then Pharaoh called Moses and Aaron and said, go sacrifice to your God within the land. But Moses said, it would not be right to do so, for the offerings we shall sacrifice to the Lord our God are an abomination to the Egyptians. If we sacrifice offerings abominable to the Egyptians before their eyes, will they not stone us? We must go 3 days' journey into the wilderness and sacrifice to the Lord our God as he tells us. So Pharaoh said, I will let you go to sacrifice to the Lord your God in the wilderness. Only you must not go very far away. Plead for me. Then Moses said, behold, I am going out from you, and I will plead with the Lord that the swarms of flies may depart from the Pharaoh, from his servants, and from his people tomorrow. Only let not Pharaoh cheat again by not letting the people go to sacrifice to the Lord. So Moses went out from Pharaoh and prayed to the Lord. And the Lord did as Moses asked, and removed the swarms of flies from Pharaoh, from his servants, and from his people. Not one remained. But Pharaoh hardened his heart this time also, and did not let the people go. A reoccurring incident. He keeps trusting Pharaoh. Can't trust Pharaoh. Did I drink all my water? I don't remember drinking all my water. That's crazy. I really don't remember drinking all my water. So it's just a reoccurring instant. Again, Pharaoh keeps hardening his heart. And Moses listens. And then Pharaoh hardens his heart. And Moses listens. Chapter 9, Exodus 9. Then the Lord said to Moses, go into Pharaoh and say to him, thus says the Lord, the God of the Hebrews, let my people go, that they may serve me. For if you refuse to let them go, still hold them. And behold, the hand of the Lord will fall with a severe plague upon your livestock that are in the fields, the horses, the donkeys, the camels, the herds, and the flocks. But the Lord will make a distinction between the livestock of Israel and the livestock of Egypt, so that nothing of all that belongs to the people of Israel shall die. And the Lord set a time, saying, tomorrow the Lord will do this thing in the land. And the next day the Lord did this thing. All the livestock of the Egyptians died, but not one of the livestock of the people of Israel died. And Pharaoh sent, and behold, not one of the livestock of Israel was dead. But the heart of the Pharaoh was hardened, and he did not let the people go. Yo, Pharaoh, you better let the people go, like Egypt is getting destroyed. And the Lord said to Moses and Aaron, take handfuls of soot from your kill. I don't know what that word is. It's K-I-L-N. Clan? Ki- What is this? A furnace oven for burning, baking, and drying, especially one for kiln. 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 A furnace or oven for baking bread, baking, and especially one for calcining lime or firing pottery. That must be how they were making the bricks. That must be how they were making the bricks and stuff. Um, kiln, kiln. Where was that? So they took shoes from kiln and stood before Pharaoh, and Moses threw it in the air, and it became boils, breaking out in swords on man and beast. And the musicians could not stand before Moses because of the boils, for the boils came upon the musicians and upon all the Egyptians. But the Lord hardened the heart of Pharaoh, and he did not listen to them as the Lord had spoken to Moses. So I'm seeing like Pharaoh's hardening his heart, and then the Lord's hardening his heart, which I have no clue what that even means. Lord hardening. Let me search this thing up. What does that even mean? Like, how can God harden somebody's heart? You get what I'm saying? Like, for real, how can God harden somebody's heart? The meaning. So it seems like I don't think it's. I guess it's saying like it's not intentionally like God like hardened his heart. Like it's something that's like God allowed Pharaoh to or allow him to. This is like I guess God.
Where was I? Okay, so the seventh plague. Then the Lord said to Moses, "Rise up early in the morning and present yourself before Pharaoh, and say to him, Thus says the Lord, the God of the Hebrews, let my people go, that they may serve me. For this time I will send all my plagues on yourself and on your servants and your people, so that they may know that there is none like me on in all the earth. For by now I could have put out my hand and struck you and your people with pestilence, and you would have been cut off from the earth. But the purpose I have raised you up to show you my power, so that my name may be proclaimed in all the earth. You are still exalting yourself against my people and will not let them go. Behold, about this time tomorrow I will cause a very heavy hail to fall, such as never has been in Egypt from the day it was founded until now. Therefore get your livestock and all that you have in the field into safe shelter, for every man and beast that is in the field and is not brought home will die when the hails fall on them. Then whoever feared the word of the Lord among the servants of the Pharaoh hurried his slaves, his livestock into the houses. But whoever did not pay attention to the word of the Lord left his slaves and his livestock in the field. Then the Lord said to Moses, Stretch out your hand toward heaven so that there may be hail in the land of Egypt, on man and beast and every plant of the field in the land of Egypt. Then Moses stretched out his hand toward the heaven and sent thunder and hail, and fire ran down to the earth, and the Lord rained hail upon the land of Egypt. There was hail and fire flashing continually in the midst of the hail, very heavy hail, such as had never been in the land of Egypt since it became a nation. The hail struck down everything that was in the field, in all the land of Egypt, both man and beast. The hail struck down every plant of the field and broke every tree of the field. Only in the land of Goshen, where the people of Israel were, was there. Oh, only in the land of Egypt, where the people of Israel were, was there no hail. Then Pharaoh sent and called Moses, and Aaron said to them, "This time I have sinned. The Lord is in the right, and I and my people are in the wrong. Plead with the Lord, for there has been enough of God's thunder and hail. I will let you go, and you shall stay no longer." Moses said to him, "As soon as I have gone out from the city, I will stretch out my hands to the Lord. The thunder will cease, there will be no more hail, so that you may know that the earth is the Lord's. But as for you and your servants, wait, I know that you do not yet fear the Lord God. The flax and the barley were struck down, for the barley was in the ear, and the flax was in bud. But the wheat and the emer were not struck down, for they are late in coming." So Moses went out. I don't know what that means. So Moses went out of the city from the fair and stretched out his hands to the Lord, and the thunder and the hail ceased. The rain no longer poured upon the earth. But when Pharaoh saw that the rain and the hail and the thunder had ceased, he sinned yet again and hardened his heart, he and his servants. So the heart of Pharaoh was hardened, and he did not let the people of Israel go, just as the Lord had spoken through Moses. Bro, this is like, again, reoccurring. This is like the 5th time. They keep trusting the Pharaoh, and he keeps proving them right. Then the Lord said to Moses, "Go into Pharaoh, for I have hardened his heart and the heart of his servants, that I may show these signs of mine among them, and that you may tell in the hearing of your son and of your grandson how I have dealt harshly with the Egyptians, and what signs I have done among them, that you may know that I am the Lord." So Moses and Aaron went into Pharaoh and said to him, "Thus says the Lord, God of the Hebrews, how long will you refuse to humble yourself before me? Let my people go, that they may serve me. For if you refuse to let my people go, behold, tomorrow I will bring locusts into your country. They shall cover the face of the land so that no one can see the land, and they shall eat what is left to you after the hail. They shall eat every tree of yours that grows in the field, and they shall fill your houses and the houses of all your servants and of the Egyptians, as neither your fathers nor your grandfathers have seen, from the day that they came to this earth." Then he turned and went out from Pharaoh. Then Pharaoh's servant said to him, "How long shall this man be a snare to us? Let them go, that they may serve the Lord their God. Do you not understand that Egypt is ruined?" So Moses and Aaron went back. Aaron were brought back to Pharaoh, and he said to them, "Go serve the Lord your God. But which ones are to go?" Moses Moses said, "We will go with our young, our old. We will go with our sons and daughters, with our flocks and herds, for we must hold a feast to the Lord." But he said to them, "The Lord be with you if ever I let you and your little ones go. Look, you have some evil purpose in mind. No, go, the men among you, and serve the Lord, for that is what you are asking." And they were driven out from Pharaoh's presence. Wait, so he allows them to go. Then the Lord said to Moses, "Stretch out your hand over the land of Egypt, so that they may come upon the land of Egypt." And wait, what? I'm so confused. So Pharaoh said they can go. No? "We will go with your young, we will go." So Moses, let me see here. I'm trying to figure out what's happening. Let the men go, that they may serve the Lord, and do not yet understand that Egypt is ruined. So Moses and Aaron brought back, and he said to them, "Go serve the Lord your God." So he actually allows them to go. The question is, why did they not go? Genesis 10? Genesis? No, we're in Exodus. Why am I writing Genesis on here? I'm so used to Genesis that I'm writing Genesis. So Exodus 10. So the Pharaoh looks like he's letting them go. Exodus 10. Let's go 7 to 11. Then the Lord said to Moses, "Stretch out your hand over the land of Egypt." for the locusts, so that they may come upon the land of the Egyptian and eat every plant in the land, all that the hail has left. So Moses stretched out his staff over the land of Egypt, and the Lord brought an east wind upon the land all that day and all that night. When it was morning, the east wind had brought the locusts. The locusts came up over all the land of Egypt, settled on the whole country of Egypt. Such as dense swarms of locusts has had never been before, nor ever will be again. They covered the face of the whole land, so that the land was darkened, and they ate all the plants in the land and all the fruit of the trees that the hail had left. Not a green thing remained, neither tree nor plant of the field, through all the land of Egypt. Then Pharaoh hastily called Moses and Aaron and said, I have sinned against the Lord your God and against you. Now therefore forgive my sin, please, only this once, and plead with the Lord your God, only to remove this death from me. So he went out from Pharaoh and pleaded with the Lord, and the Lord turned the wind into a very strong west wind, which lifted the locusts and drove them into the Red Sea. Not a single locust was left in all the country of Egypt. But the Lord hardened Pharaoh's heart, and he did not let the people of Israel go. This is like the fifth, sixth, or seventh time. What is happening here? Then the Lord said to Moses, stretch out your hand toward the heaven, that there may be darkness over the land of Egypt, a darkness to be felt. So Moses stretched out his hand toward heaven, and there was pitch darkness in all the land of Egypt 3 days. They did not see one another, nor did anyone rise from his place for 3 days. But all the people of Israel had light where they lived. Then Pharaoh called Moses and said, go serve the Lord, your little ones. No, go serve the Lord. Your little ones also may go with you. Only let your flocks and your herds remain here. But Moses said, you must also let us have sacrifice and burnt offerings, that we may sacrifice to the Lord our God. Our livestock also must go with us. Not a hoof shall be left behind, for we must take them to serve the Lord our God. We do not know with what we must serve the Lord until we arrive there. But the Lord hardened Pharaoh's heart, and he would not let them go. Then Pharaoh said to him, get away from me. Take care never to see my face again, for on the day you see my face, you shall die. Moses said, as you say, I will not see your face again. Oh, and then it's the 10th, and then it's the 10th plague. Oh my goodness. Bro, Pharaoh is, how, it's been like part 10. Then the Lord said to Moses, yet one plague more will bring upon Pharaoh and upon Egypt. Afterward, he will let you go from here. When he lets you go, he will drive you away completely. Speak now in the hearing of people, that they may ask every man of his neighbor and every woman of her neighbor for silver and gold jewelry. And the Lord gave the people favor in the sight of the Egyptians. Moreover, the man Moses was very great in the land of Egypt, in the sight of Pharaoh's servant, and in the sight of the people. So Moses said, thus says the Lord, upon the midnight I will go out in the midst of Egypt, and every firstborn in the land of Egypt shall die. From the firstborn of Pharaoh who sits on his throne, even to the firstborn of the slave girl who is behind the handmill, and all the firstborn of the cattle. There shall be a great cry throughout all the land of Egypt, such as there has never been, nor ever will be again. But not a dog shall growl against any of the people of Israel, neither man nor beast, that you may know that the Lord makes a distinction between Egypt and Israel. And all your servants shall come down to me and bow down to me, saying, get out, you and all the people who follow you. After that I will go out. And he went out from Pharaoh in hot anger. Then the Lord said to Moses, Pharaoh will not listen to you, that my wonders may be multiplied in the land of Egypt. Moses and Aaron did all these wonders before Pharaoh, and the Lord hardened Pharaoh's heart and did not let the people of Israel go out of his land. The Lord said to Moses and Aaron in the land of Egypt, this month shall be for you the beginning of months. It shall be the first month of the year for you. Tell all the congregation of Israel that on the 10th day of this month, every man shall take a lamb according to their father's houses, a lamb for a household. And if the household is too small for a lamb, then he and his nearest neighbor shall take according to the numbers of persons. According to what each can eat, you shall make your count for the lamb. Your lamb shall be without blemish, a male, a year old. You may take it from the sheep or from the goats, and you shall keep it until the 14th day of this month, when the whole assembly of the congregation of Israel shall kill their lambs at twilight. Then they shall take some of the blood and put it on the two doorposts and the lintel of the houses in which they eat in. They shall eat the flesh that night, roast on the fire with unleavened bread and bitter herbs. They shall eat it, but do not let any of it raw or boiled in water, but roast it, its head with its leg and its inner parts. Then you shall let none of it remain until the morning. Anything that remains until the morning you shall burn. In this manner you shall eat it with your belt fastened, your sandals on your feet, and your staff in your hand, and you shall eat it in haste. It is the Lord's Passover, for I will pass through the land of Egypt that night, and I will strike all the firstborn in the land of Egypt, both man and beast, and all the gods of Egypt will execute judgment. And on the gods and on all the gods of Egypt I will execute judgments. I am the Lord. The blood shall be a sign for you on the houses where you are, and when I see the blood, I will pass over you, and no plague will befall you to destroy you when I strike the land of Egypt. This day shall be for you a memorial day. You shall keep it as a feast to the Lord throughout your generations, as a statute forever. You shall keep it as a feast. 7 days you shall eat it, unleavened bread. On the first day you shall remove leaven out of your houses. For if anyone eats what is leavened from the first day until the 7th day, that person shall be cut off from Israel. That's crazy. Um, On the first day you shall hold a holy assembly, and on the 7th day a holy assembly. No work shall be done on those days, but what everyone needs to eat, that alone may be prepared by you. And you shall observe the feast of unleavened bread. For on this very day I brought your host out of the land of Egypt. Therefore you shall observe this day throughout your generations as a statute forever. In the first month, from the 14th day of the month, at evening you shall eat unleavened bread until the 21st day of the month at evening. For 7 days no leaven is to be found in your houses. If anyone eats what is leavened, that person shall be cut off from the congregation of Israel, whether he is a sojourner or a native of the land. You shall eat nothing leavened in all your dwelling places. You shall eat unleavened bread. Very interesting. Then Moses called all the elders of Israel and said to them, Go, select lambs for yourselves according to your clans and kill the Passover lamb. Take a bunch of hyssop and dip it in the blood that is in the basin, and touch the lintel and two doorposts with the blood that is in the basin. None of you shall go out of the door of this house until the morning, for the Lord will pass through to strike the Egyptians. And when he sees the blood on the lintel and on the two doorposts, the Lord will pass over the door and will not allow the destroyer to enter your houses to strike you. You shall observe this rite as a statute for you and for your sons forever. And when you come to the land that the Lord will give you as he has promised, you shall keep this service. And when your children say to you, What do you mean by this service? You shall say, It is the sacrifice of the Lord's Passover. For he has passed over the houses of the people of Israel in Egypt when he struck the Egyptians, but spared our houses. And the people bow their heads in worship. Then the people of Israel went and did so as the Lord had commanded Moses and Aaron. So they did. At midnight the Lord struck down all the firstborns in the land of Egypt, from the firstborn of Pharaoh who sat on his throne to the firstborn of the captive who was in the dungeon, and all the firstborn of the livestock. And Pharaoh rose up in the night, he and all his servants and all the Egyptians, and there was a great cry in Egypt, for there was not a house where someone was not dead. And then he summoned Moses and Aaron by night and said, Up, go out from among my people, both you and the people of Israel. Go, serve the Lord as you have said. Take your flocks, your herds, as you have said, and be gone, and bless me also. Bro said, and bless me also. That's crazy. The Egyptians were urged with the people who sent them out of the land in Egypt, the land in haste. For they said, We shall all be dead. So the people took their dough before it was leavened, their kneading bowls being bound in their cloaks and on their shoulders. The people of Israel had also done as Moses told them, for they had asked the Egyptians for silver, gold, jewelry, and for clothing. And the Lord had given the people favor in the sight of the Egyptians, so that they let them have what they asked. Thus they plundered the Egyptians. And the people of Israel journeyed from Ramses to Succoth, about 600,000 men on foot. 600,000. That's a lot of people. 600,000 men. Beside women and children, a mixed multitude also went up with them. And a mixed multitude also went up with them, and very much livestock, both flocks and herds. And they baked unleavened cakes of dough that they had brought out of Egypt, for it was not leavened, because they were thirst out of Egypt and could not wait, nor had they prepared any provisions for themselves. The time that the people of Israel lived in Egypt was 430 years. At the end of 430 years, on that very day, all the hosts of the Lord went out from the land of Egypt. It was a night of watching by the Lord to bring them out of the land of Egypt, so that this same night is a night of watching kept to the Lord by all the people of Israel throughout their generation. And the Lord said to Moses and Aaron, "This is the statute of the Passover. No foreigner shall eat of it, but every slave that is bought for money may eat of it after you have circumcised them. No foreigner or hired worker may eat of it. It shall be eaten in one house. You shall not take any of the flesh outside the house, and you shall not break any of its bones. All the congregation of Israel shall keep it. If a stranger shall sojourn with you and would keep the Passover to the Lord, let all his males be circumcised. Then he may come near and keep it. He shall be as a native of the land, but no uncircumcised person shall eat of it. There shall be one law for the native and for the stranger who sojourns among you." All the people of Israel did just as the Lord commanded Moses and Aaron, and on that very day the Lord brought the people out of Israel. No, and on that day the Lord brought the people of Israel out of the land of Egypt by the host. So that is chapter 11. No, that was chapter 12. No? 11 or 12? Oh, I guess 12. Chapter 12, check. The Lord said to Moses, "Consecrate to me all the firstborns. Whatever is the first to open the womb among the people of Israel, both of men and of beast, is mine." Then Moses said to the people, "Remember this day in which you came out from Egypt, out of the house of slavery. For by a strong hand the Lord brought you from this place. No leavened bread shall be eaten. Today in the month of Abib you are going out. And when the Lord brings you into the land of the Canaanites, the Hittites, the Amorites, the Hivites, the Jebusites, which he swore to your fathers to give you, a land flowing with milk and honey, you shall keep this service in this month. 7 days you shall eat unleavened bread, and on the seventh day there shall be a feast to the Lord. Unleavened bread shall be eaten for 7 days. No unleavened bread shall be seen with you, and no leaven shall be seen with you in all your territory. You shall tell your son on that day, it is because of what the Lord did for me when I came out of Egypt. And it shall be as you a sign on your hand, as a memorial between your eyes, that the law of the Lord may be in your mouth. For with a long hand the Lord has brought you out of Egypt. You shall therefore keep the statute as its appointed time from year to year. When the Lord brings you into the land of the Canaanites, as he swore to you and your fathers, and shall give it to you, you shall set apart the Lord, all that first opens the womb. All the firstborns of your animals that are males shall be the Lord's. Every firstborn of a donkey you shall redeem it with the lamb. Or if you will not redeem it, you shall break its neck. I already know what that means. You shall break its neck. Every firstborn of man among your sons shall redeem. And when it, I gotta write that down. That's kind of iffy. Exodus 13. Up Exodus 13:13. And when in time to come your sons ask you, what does this mean? You shall say to him, by a strong hand the Lord brought us out of Egypt from the house of slavery. For when Pharaoh stubbornly refused to let us go, the Lord killed all the firstborn in the land of Egypt, both the firstborn of man and the firstborn of animals. Therefore I sacrifice to the Lord all the males that first open the womb, but all the firstborns of my sons I redeem. It shall be as mark on your hand or your frontlets between your eyes, for by a strong hand the Lord brought us out of Egypt. When Pharaoh let the people go, God did not lead them by way of the land of the Philistines, although that was near. So when the Pharaoh let the people go, God did not lead them by way of the land of the Philistines, although that was near. For God said, lest the people change their minds when they see war and return to Egypt. But God led the people around by the way of the wilderness toward the Red Sea, and the people of Israel went up out of the land of Egypt equipped for battle. Moses took the bones of Joseph with him, for Joseph had made sons of Israel solemnly swear, saying, God will surely visit you. You shall carry up my bones with you from here. And they moved on from Succoth and encamped at Etham on the edge of the wilderness. And the Lord went before them by day in a pillar of cloud to lead them along the way, and by night in a pillar of fire to give them light, that they might travel by day and by night. The pillar of cloud by day and the pillar of fire by night did not depart from before the Lord. Did not depart from before the people. So chapter 14. And we shall pause here and take a little break. Yeah, we're halfway through. And it's 12:30. So we're for an hour. Good reading, good reading. I think this is a little quicker. Tomorrow's going to be a tough read. Oof. Yeah, tomorrow's going to be a tough reading. We're going to have to lock in tomorrow. We are going to have to lock in tomorrow. La, 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 la. Lock in. Let's continue. I'm trying to get this. Chapter 14. Then the Lord said to Moses, tell the people of Israel to turn back and encamp in front of Pi-hahiroth, between Migdol and the sea, in front of Baal-zephon. You shall encamp facing it by the sea, for Pharaoh will say of the people of Israel, they are wandering in the land. The wilderness has shut them in. And I will harden Pharaoh's hearts, and he will pursue them. And I will get glory over Pharaoh and all his hosts, and the Egyptians shall know that I am the Lord. And they did so. When the king of Egypt was told that the people had fled, the mind of Pharaoh and his servants was changed toward the people. And they said, what is this we have done, that we have let Israel go from serving us? So he made ready his chariots and took army with him, and took 600 chosen chariots, and all the other chariots of Egypt with officers over all of them. And the Lord hardened the heart of Pharaoh, king of Egypt, and he pursued the people of Israel while the people of Israel were going out defiantly. The Egyptians pursued them, and all Pharaoh's the Egyptians pursued them, and all Pharaoh's horses and the chariots and his horsemen, its armies, and overtook them and camped at the sea by Pi-hahiroth in front of Baal-zephon. When Pharaoh drew near, the people of Israel lifted up their eyes, and behold, the Egyptians were marching after them. And they feared greatly, and the people of Israel cried out to the Lord. They said to Moses, is it because that there are no graves in Egypt that you have taken us away to die in the wilderness? What have you done to us to bring us out of Egypt? Is not this what we said to you in Egypt? Leave us alone that we may serve the Egyptians. For it would have been better for us to serve the Egyptians than to die in the wilderness. I mean, y'all were dying regardless. And Moses said to the people, fear not, stand firm and see the salvation of the Lord, which he will work for you today. As if they didn't never saw the miracles that God did, the plagues, like he said, 10 plagues. I guess they were not. I guess they weren't being aware of them. For the Egyptians whom you see today, you shall never see again. The Lord will fight for you, and you have only to be silent. The Lord said to Moses, why do you cry to me? Tell the people of Israel to go forward. Lift up your staff and stretch out your hand over the sea and divide it, that the people of Israel may go through the sea on dry ground. And I will harden the heart of the Egyptians so that they will go in after them, and I will get glory over Pharaoh and all his hosts and his horsemen. And the Egyptians shall know that I am the Lord when I've gotten glory over Pharaoh, his chariots, and his horses. Let's write stuff down, boys. La, 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 Why do you cry to me? That's crazy. Then the angel of God who was going before the host of Israel moved and went behind them, and the pillar of cloud moved from before them and stood behind them, coming between the host of the Egyptians and the host of Israel. And there was a cloud in the darkness, and it lit up the night, without one coming near the other all night. Then Moses stretched out his hand over the sea, and the Lord drove the sea back by a strong east wind all night, and made the sea dry land, and the waters were divided. And the people of Israel went in the midst of the sea on dry ground, waters being a wall to them on their right hand and on their left. The Egyptians pursued them and after them in the midst of the sea, all Pharaoh's horses, his chariots, and his horsemen. And in the morning watched the Lord in the pillar of fire, and in the morning watched the Lord in the pillar of fire and of cloud, looked down on the Egyptian forces, and threw the Egyptian forces into a panic, clogging their chariots' wheels so that they drove heavily. And the Egyptians said, "Let us flee from before Israel, for the Lord fights for them against the Egyptians." Then the Lord said to Moses, "Stretch out your hand over the sea, that the water may come back over the Egyptians, upon their chariots and their horsemen." So Moses stretched out his hand over the sea, and the sea returned to its former course when the morning appeared. And as the Egyptians fled into it, the Lord threw the Egyptians into the midst of the sea. The waters returned and covered the chariots and the horsemen. Of all the host of Pharaoh that had followed them into the sea, not one of them remained. But the people of Israel walked on dry ground through the sea, the waters being a wall to them on their right hand and on their left. Thus the Lord saved Israel that day from the hand of the Egyptians, and Israel saw the Egyptians dead on the seashore. Israel saw the great power that the Lord used against the Egyptians. So the people feared the Lord, and they believed in the Lord and in his servant Moses. Very interesting story. Very interesting. Chapter 15. Then Moses and the people of Israel sang this song to the Lord, saying, "I will sing to the Lord, for he has triumphed gloriously. For he has triumphed gloriously. The horse and his riders he has thrown into the sea. The Lord is my light. No, the Lord is my strength and my song, and he has become my salvation. This is my God, and I will praise him. My father's God, I will exalt him. The Lord is a man of war. The Lord is his name. Pharaoh's chariots and his host he cast into the sea, and his chosen officers were sunk in the Red Sea. The floods covered them. They went down into the depths like a stone. Your right hand, O Lord, glorious in power. Your right hand, O Lord, shatters the enemy. In the greatness of your majesty, you overthrow your adversaries. You send out your fury, it consumes them like stubble. At the blast of your nostrils, the waters piled up. The floods stood up in a heap. The deeps congealed in the heart of the sea. The enemy said, "I will pursue, I will overtake, I will divide the spoil, my desire shall have its fill of them. I will draw my sword, my hand shall destroy them. You blew with your wind, the sea covered them. They sank like lead in the mighty waters." Who is like you, O Lord, among the gods? Who is like you, majesty and holiness, awesome and glorious deeds, doing wonders? You stretch out your right hand, the earth swallowed them. You have led in your steadfast love the people whom you have redeemed. You have guided them by your strength to your holy abdo. The people have heard, they tremble. Pangs have seized their inhabitants of Philistia. Now are the chiefs of Edom dismayed. Trembling seizes the leaders of Moab. All the inhabitants of Canaan have melted away. Terror and dread fall upon them because of the greatness of your arm. They are still as a stone till your people, O Lord, pass by. Till the people pass by whom you have purchased. You will bring them in the plants, and you will bring them in and plant them on your mountain, the place of the Lord which you have made for your abdob and the sacrifice. O Lord, which your hands have established, the Lord will reign forever and ever. For when the horses of Pharaoh with the chariots and his horsemen went in the sea, the Lord brought back the waters of the sea upon them. But the people of Israel walked on dry ground in the midst of the sea. Then Miriam the prophetess, the sister of Aaron, took a tambourine in the hand, and all the women went out after her with tambourines and dancing. With Miriam sang to them, "Sing to the Lord, for he has triumphed gloriously. The horses and his riders he has thrown into the sea." Then Moses made Israel set out from the Red Sea, and they went into the wilderness of Shur. They went 3 days in the wilderness and found no waters. When they came to Marah, they could not drink the water of Marah because it was bitter. Therefore it was named Marah. When the people grumbled against Moses, saying, "What shall we drink?" And he cried to the Lord, and the Lord showed him a log, and he threw it into the water, and the water became sweet. There the Lord made for them a statute and a rule. Therefore he tested them, saying, "If you will diligently listen to the voice of the Lord your God, and do that which is right in his eyes, and give ear to his commandments, keep all his statutes, I will put none of the diseases on you that I put on the Egyptians, for I am the Lord your healer." Then they came to Elim, where there were 12 springs of water and 70 palm trees, and they encamped there by the water. I like how it's very detailed here. It says they came to Elim, where there were 12 springs of waters, and there were 70 palm trees. It's like 70, like somebody was counting how many palm trees there were. That's funny. That's very detailed. Chapter 16, Exodus. They came out from Elim, and all the congregation of people of Israel came to the wilderness of Sin, which is between Elim and Sinai. And on the 15th day of the second month, after they had departed from the land of Egypt, the whole congregation of the people of Israel grumbled against Moses and Aaron in the wilderness. And the people of Israel said to them, "What that we have died by the hand of the Lord in the land of Egypt, when we sat by the meat pots and ate bread to the full. For you have brought us out into the wilderness to kill this whole assembly with hunger." I think they have forgotten, haven't they? Then the Lord said to Moses, "Behold, I am about to rain bread from heaven for you, and the people will go out and gather a day's portion every day, that I may test them, whether they will walk in my law or not. On the sixth day, when they prepare what they bring in, it will be twice as much as they gather daily." So Moses and Aaron said to all the people of Israel, "At evening you shall know it was the Lord who brought you out of the land of Egypt, and in the morning you shall see the glory of the Lord, because he has heard your grumbling against the Lord. For what are we that you grumble against us?" And Moses said, "When the Lord gives you in the evening meat to eat, and in the morning bread to full, because the Lord has heard your grumbling, that you grumble against him, what are we? Your grumbling is not against us, but against the Lord." Then Moses said to Aaron, "Say to the whole congregation of the people of Israel, come near before the Lord, for he has heard your grumbling." And as soon as Aaron spoke to the whole congregation of the people of Israel, they looked toward the wilderness, and behold, the glory of the Lord appeared in the cloud. And the Lord said to Moses, "I have heard the grumbling of the people of Israel. Say to them, at twilight you shall eat meat, and in the morning you shall be filled with bread. Then you shall know that I am the Lord your God." In the evening, quail came up and covered the land, and in the morning, dew lay around the camp. And when the dew had gone up, there was on the face of the wilderness a fine flake-like thing, fine as frost on the ground. When the people of Israel saw it, they said to one another, "What is it?" For they did not know what it was. And Moses said to them, "It is the bread of the Lord. It is the bread that the Lord has given you to eat. This is what the Lord has commanded. Gather of it each one of you as much as you can eat. You shall each take an omer, according to the number of the people that each of you has in his tent." And the people of Israel did so. They gathered some more, some less, and when they measured it with an omer, whoever gathered much had nothing left over, and whoever gathered little had no lack. Each of them gathered as much as he could eat. And Moses said to them, "Let no one leave any of it over till the morning." But they did not listen to Moses. Some left part of it till the morning, and it bred worms and stank. And Moses was angry with them. Morning by morning they gathered it, each as much as he could eat. But when the sun grew hot, it melted. On the sixth day they gathered twice as much bread, 2 omers each. And when all the leaders of the congregation came and told Moses, he said to them, "This is what the Lord has commanded. Tomorrow is a day of solemn rest, a holy Sabbath to the Lord. Bake what you will bake, boil what you will boil, and all that is left over, lay it aside to be kept till the morning." So they laid it aside till the morning as Moses commanded, and did not stink, and there were no worms in it. Moses said, "Eat it today, for today is a Sabbath to the Lord. Today you will not find it in the field. 6 days you shall gather it, but on the seventh day, which is a Sabbath, there shall be none." On the seventh day, some of the people went out to gather, but they found none. And the Lord said to Moses, "How long will you refuse to keep my commandments and my laws? See, the Lord has given you the Sabbath. Therefore, on the sixth day, he gives you bread for 2 days. Remain each of you in his place. Let no one go out of his place on the seventh day." So the people of Israel rested on the seventh day. Now the house of Israel called its name manna. It was like coriander seed. White, and taste of it was like wafer made with honey. Moses said, "This is what the Lord commanded. Let an omer of it be kept throughout your generations, so that they may see the bread, that which I fed you in the wilderness when I brought you out of the land of Egypt." And Moses said to Aaron, "Take a jar and put an omer of manna in it, and place it before the Lord, to be kept throughout your generations." As the Lord commanded Moses, so Aaron placed it before the testimony to be kept. The people of Israel ate the manna 40 years, till they came to the habitable land. They ate manna till they came to the border of the land of Canaan. An omer is the 10th part of an ephah. What the? So they ate manna for 40 years? What? That's crazy. 40 years is a long time. 15 or 16. 16. So they ate manna for 40 years. Holy moly. Mm. Okay, chapter 17. It's been an hour and 15 minutes. Okay, let's get to chapter 20 and then we take a little break. All the congregation of the people of Israel moved on from the wilderness of Sin by stages, according to the commandments of the Lord, and encamped at Rephidim. But there was no water for the people to drink. Therefore the people quarreled with Moses and said, "Give us water to drink." And Moses said to them, "Why do you quarrel with me? Why do you test the Lord?" But the people thirst there for water, and the people grumbled against Moses and said, "Why did you bring us out of Egypt to kill us and our children and our livestock with thirst?" So Moses cried to the Lord, "What shall I do with this people? They're almost ready to stone me." And the Lord said to Moses, "Pass on before the people, taking with you some of the elders of Israel, and take in your hand the staff with which you struck the Nile, and go. Behold, I will stand before you there on the rock at Herob, and you shall strike the rock, and the water shall come out of it, and the people will drink." And Moses did so in the sight of the elders of Israel, and he called the name of the place Massa and Meribah, because of the quarreling of the people of Israel, and because they tested the Lord by saying, "Is the Lord among us or not?" The Amalek came and fought with Israel at Rephidim. So Moses said to Joshua, "Choose for us men, and go out and fight with Amalek. Tomorrow I will stand on the top of the hill with the staff of God in my hand." So Joshua did as Moses told him and fought with Amalek. While Moses and Aaron and Moses, Aaron, and Hur went up to the top of the hill, whenever Moses held up his hand, Israel prevailed, and whenever he lowered his hand, Amalek prevailed. But Moses' hands grew weary, so they took a stone and put it under him, and he sat on it. While Moses and Aaron held up his hands, one on one side and the other on the other, so his hands were steady until the going down of the sun. And Joshua overwhelmed Amalek and his people with the sword. Then the Lord said to Moses, "Write this as a memorial in the book and recite it in the ears of Joshua, that I will utterly blot out the memory of Amalek from under heaven." And Moses built an altar and called the name of it, "The Lord is my banner," saying, "A hand upon the throne of the Lord. The Lord will have war with Amalek for generations to generations." So that's an interesting story. Okay. So that is chapter 17. So Exodus 18 here. My computer is glitching up on me. Why my computer glitching up on me? Chapter 18. Jethro, the priest of Midian, Moses' grandfather, heard of all that God had done for Moses and for Israel his people, how the Lord had brought Israel out of Egypt. Now Jethro, Moses' father-in-law, had taken Zipporah's mother, Moses' wife, after he had sent her home, along with her two sons. The name of one was Gershom, for he said, "I have been a sojourner in a foreign land," and the name of the other Eleazar, for he said, "The God of my father was my help and delivered me from the sword of Pharaoh." Jethro, Moses' father-in-law, came in with his sons and his wife to Moses in the wilderness, where he was encamped at the mountain of God. And when he sent word to Moses, "I, your father and Jethro, am coming to you with your wife and her two sons with her," Moses went out to meet his father-in-law and bowed down and kissed him. And they asked each other of their welfare and went into the tent. Then Moses told his father-in-law all that the Lord had done to Pharaoh and to the Egyptians for Israel's sake, all the hardship that had come upon them in the way, and how the Lord had delivered them. And Jethro rejoiced for all the good that the Lord had done to Israel, in that he had delivered them out of the hand of the Egyptians. Jethro said, "Blessed be the Lord, who has delivered you out of the hand of the Egyptians and out of the hand of Pharaoh, and has delivered the people from under the hand of the Egyptians. Now Now I know that the Lord is greater than all gods, because in his affair they dealt arrogantly with the people. And Jethro, Moses' father-in-law, brought a burnt offering and sacrifices to the Lord. And Aaron came with all the elders of Israel to eat bread with Moses' father-in-law, before the Lord, before the God. The next day Moses sat to judge the people, and the people stood around Moses from morning till evening. When Moses' father-in-law saw all that he was doing for the people, he said, "What is this that you are doing for the people? Why do you sit alone and all the people stand around you from morning till evening?" And Moses said to his father-in-law, "Because the people come to me to inquire of God. And when they have dispute, they come to me and decide between one person and another, and I make them known the statutes of God and his laws." Moses' father-in-law said to him, "What are you doing is not good. You and the people with you will certainly wear yourselves out, for the thing is too heavy for you. You are not able to do it alone. Now, obey my voice. I will give you advice, and God be with you. You shall represent the people before God and bring their cases to God. And you shall warn them about the statutes and the laws, and make them known the way in which they must walk and what they must do. Moreover, look for able men from all the people, men who fear God, who are trustworthy, and hate a bribe, and place such men over the people as a chief of thousands, of hundreds, of fifties, and of tens. And let them judge the people at all times. Every great matters they shall bring to you, but any small matter they shall decide themselves. So it will be easier for you, and they will bear the burden with you. If you do this, God will direct you. You will be able to endure, and all the people also will go into their place in peace. So Moses listened to the voice of his father-in-law, and he did all that he had said. Moses chose able men of all Israel and made them heads over the people, chiefs of thousands, of hundreds, of fifties, and of tens. And they judged the people at all times. Any hard case they brought to Moses, but any small matter they decided themselves. Then Moses let his father-in-law depart, and he went away to his own country. On the third day, on the third day, new moon on the third new moon, after the people of Israel had gone out of the land of Egypt, on that day they came into the wilderness of Sinai. They set out from Rephidim and came into the wilderness of Sinai, and they camped in the wilderness. The people encamped before the mountain, and while Moses went up to God, the Lord called to him out of the mountain, saying, "Thus you shall say to the house of Jacob, tell the people of Israel, you yourselves have seen what I did to the Egyptians, how I bore you on eagle wings and brought you into your myself. Now therefore, if you will indeed obey my voice and keep my commandments, you shall be my treasured possessions among all the people of all the earth. Wait, you shall be treasured possession among my people, for all the earth is mine. And you shall be to me as a kingdom of priests and a holy nation. These are the words that you shall speak to the people of Israel." Um, So Moses came and called the elders of the people and said before them all these words that the Lord had commanded him. All the people answered together and said, "All the Lord has spoken, we will do." And Moses reported the words of the people to the Lord. And the Lord said to Moses, "Behold, I am coming to you in a thick cloud, that the people may hear when I speak with you, and may also believe you forever." When Moses told the words of the words, when Moses told the words of the people to the Lord said to Moses, "Go to the people, consecrate them today and tomorrow, and let them wash their garments and be ready for the third day. For the third day the Lord will come down on Mount Sinai in the sight of all people. And you shall set limits for the people all around, saying, take care not to go up into the mountain or touch the edge of it. Whoever touches the mountain shall be put to death. No hand shall touch him, but he shall be stoned or shot. Whether beast or animal, he shall not live. When the trumpet sounds a long blast, they shall come up to the mountain. So Moses went down from the mountain to the people and consecrated the people, and they washed their garments. And he said to the people, be ready for the third day. Do not go near a woman. Wait, what? I'm so confused. Do not go near a woman. What's happening here? Whoever, I gotta write that down. I don't even know what that means. Exodus 19. Let's just read the whole ass chapter. When Moses told, Moses go, the Lord said to Moses, go to the pyramids. Let's just go 10 to 5. Actually, let's go 10 to. Let's just go 10 to 10 to. Let's go 10 to 13, 10 to 14, and then let's do Exodus 19:15. Do not go near a woman. I don't even know. Why did he say that? On the morning of the third day, there were thunders and lightnings and a thick cloud on the mountain and a very loud trumpet blast, so that all the people in the camp trembled. Then Moses brought the people out of the camp to meet God, and they took their stand at the foot of the mountain. Now Mount Sinai was wrapped in smoke because the Lord had descended on it in fire. The smoke of it went up like a smoke of Kylin, and the whole mountain trembled greatly, and as the sound of trumpet grew louder and louder, Moses spoke, and God answered him in thunder. The Lord came down on Mount Sinai on the top of the mountain, and the Lord called Moses to the top of the mountain, and Moses went up. And the Lord said to Moses, go down and warn the people, lest they break through the Lord to look, and many of them perish. And the Lord said to Moses, go down and warn the people, lest they break through to the Lord to look, and many of them perish. Also, let the priests who come near to the Lord consecrate themselves, lest the Lord break out against them. And Moses said to the Lord, the people cannot come up to Mount Sinai, for you yourself warned us, saying, set limits around the mountain and consecrate it. And the Lord said to him, go down and come up and bring Aaron with you. But do not let the priests and the people break through to come up to the Lord, lest he break out against them. So Moses went down to the people and told them. Okay. Um, yeah. So that is chapter 19. I wrote quite a bit on here. There's some interesting things. All right, chapter 20. And God spoke all these words, saying, I am the Lord your God who brought you out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of slavery. You shall have no other gods before me. You shall not make for yourselves carved images or any likeness of anything that is in heaven above, or that is in the earth beneath, or that is in the waters under the earth. You shall not bow down to them or serve them, for I, the Lord your God, am a jealous God. Visiting the iniquities of the fathers on the children to the third generation, the fourth generation. Visiting the iniquities of the fathers on the children to the third and the fourth generation of those who hate me, but showing steadfast love to thousands of those who love me and keep my commandments. I thought there was a verse in the Bible where it says God doesn't do that. I'm so confused. Exodus 20. It says visiting the iniquities of the fathers on the children to the third and fourth generation. I thought there's somewhere where it says like God doesn't. I might be wrong. That's why I'm reading this. You shall not take the name of the Lord your God in vain, for the Lord will not hold him guiltless who take his name in vain. Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. 6 days you shall labor and do all your work, but the seventh day is a Sabbath to the Lord your God. On it you shall not do any work, you or your son or your daughter or your male or your female or your livestock or your sojourners who is within your gates. For in 6 days the Lord made heaven and earth, the sea and all that is in them, and rested on the seventh day. Therefore the Lord blessed the seventh day and made it holy. Honor your father and your mother, that your days may be long in the land that the Lord your God is giving you. You shall not murder, you shall not commit adultery, you shall not steal, you shall not bear false witness against your neighbor. You shall not covet your neighbor's house, you shall not covet your neighbor's wife, or his male servants, or his female servants, or his donkey, or his oxen, or anything that is your neighbor's. Now when the people saw the thunder and the flashings of the lightning, and the sound of the trumpet and the mountain smoking, the people were afraid and trembled. They stood far off and said to Moses, "You speak to us and we will listen, but do not let God speak to us, lest we die." Moses said to the people, "Do not fear, for God has come to test you, that the fear of him may be before you, that you may not sin." The people stood afar off while Moses drew near to the thick darkness where God was. And the Lord said to Moses, "Thus you shall say to the people of Israel, you have seen for yourselves that I have talked with you from heaven. You shall not make gods of silver to be with me, nor shall you make for yourselves gods of gold. An altar of earth you shall make for me, and sacrifice on it your burnt offerings and your peace offerings, your oxen, your sheep and your oxen, in every place where I cause my name to be remembered. I will come to you and bless you. If you make an altar of stone, you shall not build it of huge stones, for if you weld your stone on it, you profane it. And you shall not go up by steps to my altar, that your nakedness may not be exposed on it." And if you make an altar of stone, you shall not build it of stone. If you weld your tool on it, you profane it. Some other stuff there. Chapter 21. Now these are the rules that you shall set before them. When you buy a Hebrew slave, he shall serve 6 years, and in the seventh he shall go out free, for nothing. If he comes in single, he shall go out single. If he comes in married, then his wife shall go out with him. If his master gives him a wife, and she bears him a son or daughters, the wife and her children shall be her master's, and he shall go out alone. I don't even know if that makes sense. Okay. If he goes, he shall come out. Let's just go 1 to... Let's go 1 to 5. But if the slave plainly says, "I love my master, my wife, and my children, I will not go out free," then his master shall bring him to God, and he shall bring him to the door or to the doorpost. And his master shall bore his ear through with an awl, and he shall be his slave forever. Gotta write that down. So it's like branding somebody. Bore his ear with an owl. Like what you do to like cattle. That's crazy. Man, we're figuring out things here. It's a great read though. When a man sells his daughter as a slave, she shall not go out as a male slave does. As when a man sells his daughter as a slave, she shall not go out as the male slaves do. If she does not please her master, who has designated her for himself, then he shall let her be redeemed. If he shall have no right to sell her to a foreign people, Wait. I'm reading this wrong. When a man sells his daughter, as a slave, selling your daughter as a slave is crazy. Write that down. Exodus 21. Exodus 21 is coming in clutch here. There's some writings I gotta do. When a man sells his daughter as a slave, she shall not go out as a male slave does. If she does not please her master, who has designated her for himself, then he shall let her be redeemed. He shall have no right to sell her to a foreign people, since he has broken faith with her. If he designates her for his son, he shall deal with her as with a daughter. If he takes another wife to himself, he shall not diminish her food, her clothing, or her mortal rights. And if he does not do these 3 things for her, he shall go out for nothing, without payment of money. I'm so confused. If he does not do these 3 things for her, she shall go out for nothing, without payment of money. Okay. I don't know. I don't even know what's happening there. Whoever strikes a man so that he dies shall be put to death. Simple. But if he does not lie in wait for him, but if he did not lie in wait for him, but God let him fall into his hands, then I will appoint for you a place to which he may flee. But if he did not lie in wait for him, but God let him fall into his hands, I will appoint for you a place to which he may flee. Exodus 21, holy crap. I think this is saying, like, if you kill somebody intentionally, but then verse 13 is saying, like, but if he does not lie in wait for him, but God let him fall into his hands, then I will appoint. What does that even mean? Let's go back to here. 21. Let's go 12. To 14, I guess. Whoever strikes his father or his mother shall be put. Oh, I didn't even finish the verse. Whoever strikes a man so that he dies shall be put to death. But if he did not lie in wait for him, but God let him fall into his hand, then I will appoint for you a place to which he may flee. But if a man willingly attacks another to kill him by cunning, you shall take him from my altar that he may die. What does kill him by cunning mean? Kill him by cunning? I don't even know what that means. What the frick? What is cunning? Oh, cunning is like having or showing skill in achieving one's end by deceit, or he deceives him. So he killed him by deception. So if another man kills him by deception, like he deceived him and he kills him, then he shall take him from my altar that he may die. Whoever strikes his father or his mother shall be put to death. Strikes. Write that down. Exodus 21 is going crazy. I gotta definitely go back to this chapter. Whoever steals a man and sells him, and anyone found in possession of him, shall be put to death. Whoever curses his father or his mother shall be put to death. Damn, bro. Dang, you die for everything, it seems like. Holy crap. If you steal and somebody possesses and somebody buys him, steals and sells him, and anyone found in possession shall be put to death? Wait. Whoever steals a man and sells him, and anyone found in possession of him shall be put to death. Why would they? I guess they're I mean, you can't. I mean, how would you know that somebody stole somebody though? Let's keep going here. When a man quarrels and one strikes the other with a stone or with his fist, and the man does not die, but takes to his bed, then if the man rises again and walks outdoor with his staff, he who struck him shall be clear. Only he shall pay for the loss of his time and shall have him thoroughly healed. So it's saying if a man quarrels and one strikes the other, and basically he hurts him to the point of, I guess, the point of he has to recover. He has to pay for the time of recovery. All right. When a man strikes his slave male or female with a rod, and the slave dies under his hands, he shall be avenged. But if the slave survives a day or two, he is not to be avenged, for the slave is his money. Okay. When men when men strive together and hit a pregnant woman so that her child come out, but there is no harm. Well, let me read this. When a man strive together and hit a pregnant woman so that her children come out, but there is no harm, the one who hit her shall surely be fined, as the woman's husband shall impose on him, and he shall pay as the judge determines. But if there is harm, then you shall pay life for life, eye for eye, tooth for tooth, hand for hand, foot for foot, burn for burn, wound for wound, stripe for stripe. Huh. When a man strikes the eyes of his servant, when a man strikes the eye of his slave, male or female, and destroys it, he shall let the slave go free because of his eye. If he knocks out the tooth of his slave, male or female, he shall let the slave go free because of his tooth. But then we just read like up there, like if you strike somebody and if he, where was it? Where was it? I don't know. Let's just keep going here. When an ox gores a man or a woman to death, the ox shall be stoned, and its flesh shall not be eaten. But the owner of the ox shall not be liable. But if the ox has been accustomed to gore in the past, and its owner has been warned, but has not kept it in, and it kills a man or a woman, the ox shall be stoned, and its owner also shall be put to death. That's crazy. So both of them die. Exodus 21 is full of. If a ransom is imposed on him, he shall give for the redemption of his life whatever is imposed on him. If it gores a man's son or daughter, he shall be dealt with according to the same rule. If the oxen gores a slave male, if an oxen gores a slave male or female, the owner shall give to the master 30 shekels of silver, and the ox shall be stoned. Stoning an oxen, that's crazy. When a man opens a pit, or when a man digs a pit and does not cover it, and an ox or a donkey falls into it, the owner of the pit shall make a restoration. He shall give money to its owner, and the dead beast shall be his, because he died. When one's man ox butts another so that it dies, then they shall sell the live ox and share its price, and the dead beast also they shall share. Or if it is known that the ox has been accustomed to gore in the past, and its owner has not kept it in, he shall repay the ox for ox, and the dead beast shall be his. Okay. Chapter 22. That was kind of long. If a man steals an ox or a sheep and kills it or steals it, he shall repay 5 oxen for an ox, and 4 sheep for a sheep. If a thief is found breaking in and is struck so that he dies, there shall be no blood guilt for him. But if the sun has risen on him, there shall be blood guilt for him. But if the sun has risen on him, there shall be blood guilt for him. He shall surely pay. If he has nothing, then he shall be sold for his theft. If the stolen beast is found alive in his possession, whether it's an ox or a donkey or sheep, he shall pay double. All right, verse 5. If a man causes a field or vineyard to be gazed over, or lets his beast loose, and it feeds in another man's field, he shall make restitution from the best in his own field and in his own vineyard. If fire breaks out and catches in thorns, so that the stacked grain or the standing grain or the field is consumed, he who started the fire shall make full restitution. If a man gives to his neighbor money or goods to keep safe, and is stolen from the man's house, then if the thief is found, he shall pay double. If the thief is not found, the owner of the house shall come near to God to show whether or not he has put his hand to his neighbor's property. For every breach of trust, whether it is for an ox, for a donkey, for a sheep, for a cloak, or for any kind of lost thing, of which one says, "This is it," the case of both parties shall come before God. The one whom God condemns shall pay double to his neighbor. If a man gives to his neighbor a donkey or an oxen, or a sheep or any beast, and it dies or is injured or is driven away without anyone seeing it, an oath by the Lord shall be between them both to see whether or not he has put his hands to his neighbor's property. The owner shall accept the oath, and he shall not make restitution. But if it is stolen from him, he shall make restitution to its owner. If it is torn by beasts, let him bring it as an evidence. He shall not make restitution for what has been torn. If a man borrows anything of his neighbor and is injured or dies, the owner not being with it, he shall make full restitution. If the owner was with it, he shall not make restitution. If it was hired, it comes for its hiring fee. Just a lot of rules right here. If a man seduces a virgin who is not betrothed and lies with her, he shall give the bride price for her and make her his wife. If her father utterly refuses to give her to him, he shall pay money equal to the bride price for virgins. La, 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 la. Okay, so verse 18, you shall not permit a sorceress to live. Whoever lies with an animal shall be put to death. Whoever sacrifices to any god other than the Lord shall be devoted to destruction. You shall not wrong a sojourner or oppress him, for you are sojourners in the land of Egypt. You shall not mistreat any widow or fatherless child. If you do mistreat them, and they cry out to me, I will surely hear their cry, and my wrath will burn, and I will kill you with the sword, and your wives shall become widows. Wait. If you do mistreat them, and they cry out to me, I will surely hear their cry, and my wrath will burn, and I will kill you with the sword, and your wives shall become widows, and your children fatherless. If you lend money to any of my people with who is poor, you shall not be like a money lender to him. You shall not exact interest from him. If ever you take your neighbor's cloak in pledge, you shall return it to him before the sun goes down, for that is his only covering, and it is his cloak for his body. And what else shall he sleep? And if he cries to me, I will hear, for I am compassionate. You shall not revile God, nor curse a ruler of your people. You shall not delay to offer from the fullness of your harvest and from the overflow of your from your presses. The firstborn of your sons you shall give to me. You shall do the same with your oxen, with your sheep. 7 days it shall be with its mother. On the 8th day you shall give it to me. You shall be consecrated to me. Therefore you shall not eat any flesh that is torn by beasts in the field. You shall throw it to the dogs. That is Exodus 22. Exodus 23. These are kind of long. You shall not spread a false report. You shall not join hands with a wicked man to be malicious witness. To be a malicious witness. You shall not fall in with the many to do evil, nor shall you bear witness in a lawsuit, siding with many so as to pervert justice, nor shall you be partial to a poor man in his lawsuit. If you meet your enemy's donkey if you meet an enemy's ox or his donkey going astray, you shall bring it back to him. If you see the donkey of one who hates you lying down under its burden, you shall refrain from leaving him with it. You shall rescue it with him. You shall not pervert justice due to your poor in his lawsuit. Keep far from a false charge, and do not kill the innocent and righteous. For I will not acquit the wicked, and you shall take no bribe for a bribe. You shall not take no bribe, for a bribe blinds the clear-sighted and subverts the cause of those who are in the right. You shall not oppress a sojourner. You know the heart of a sojourner, for you were sojourners in the land of Egypt. For 6 days you shall sow your land and gather it in fields, but the seventh you for 6 years you shall sow your land and gather in its field, but the 7th year you shall let it rest and lie fallow, that the poor of your people may eat, and what they leave the field, and what they leave the beasts of the field may eat. You shall do likewise with your vineyards and with your olive orchard. 6 days you shall do your work, on the 7th day you shall rest, that your ox and your donkey may have rest, and the son of your servant woman and the alien may be refreshed. Pay attention to all that I have said to you, and make no mention of the names of other gods, nor let it be heard on your lips. Three times a year you shall keep a feast to me. You shall keep the feast of unleavened bread, as I commanded you. You shall eat unleavened bread for 7 days at the appointed time in the month of Abib. For in it you come out of Egypt. None shall appear before me empty-handed. None shall appear before me empty-handed. You shall keep the feast of harvest of the first fruits of your labor, of what you sow in the field. You shall keep the feast of in gathering at the end of the year, when you gather in from the field the fruit of your labor. 3 times in the year shall all your males appear before the Lord God. Appear before the Lord. All your males. You shall not offer the blood of my sacrifice with anything leavened, or let the fat of my feast remain until the morning. The best of the first fruits of your ground, you shall bring it into the house of the Lord your God. You shall not boil a young goat in its mother's milk. Behold, I send an angel before you to guard you on the way and to bring you to the place that I have prepared. Pay careful attention to him and obey his voice. Do not rebel against him, for he will not pardon your transgression, for my name is in him. But if you carefully obey his voice and do all that I say, then I will be an enemy to your enemies and an adversary to your adversaries. Okay. When my angel goes before you and brings you to the Amorites, the Hittites, the Perizzites, and the Canaanites, the Hivites, and the Jebusites, and I blot them out, you shall not bow down to their gods, nor serve them, nor do as they do, but you shall utterly overthrow them and break their pillars in pieces. You shall serve the Lord your God, and he will bless your bread and your water, and I will take sickness away from among you. Okay, verse. You shall serve, bless them. None shall miscarry or be barren in your land. I will fulfill the numbers of your days. I will send my terror before you and will throw into confusion all the people against whom you shall come. And I will make all your enemies turn their backs to you. I will send hornets before you, which shall drive out the Hivites, the Canaanites, and the Hittites from before you. I will not drive them out from before you in 1 year, lest the land become desolate and the wild beasts multiply against you. Little by little I will drive them out from before you until you have increased and possessed the land. And I will set your border from the Red Sea to the Sea of the Philistines, and from the wilderness to the Euphrates. For I will give the inhabitants of the land into your hand, and you shall drive them out before you. You shall make no covenant with them and their gods. They shall not dwell in your land, lest they make you sin against me. For if you serve their gods, it will surely be a snare to you. It will be a snare to you. Chapter 24. We're almost there, guys. We are almost there. Then he said to Moses, come up to the Lord, you and Aaron, Nadab and Abihu, and 70 of the elders, of Israel, worship from afar. Moses alone shall come near to the Lord, but the others shall not come near, and the people shall not come with you. Moses came and told the people all the words of the Lord and all the rules, and all the people answered with one voice and said, all the words that the Lord has spoken we will do. And Moses wrote down all the words of the Lord. He rose early in the morning and built an altar at the foot of the mountain and 12 pillars according to the 12 tribes of Israel. And he sent young men of the people of Israel who offer burnt offerings and sacrifice peace offerings of oxen to the Lord. And Moses took half of the blood and put it in basins, and half of the blood he threw against the altar. Then he took the book of the covenant and read it in the hearing of the people. And they said, all the Lord has spoken we will do. We will be obedient. And Moses took the blood and threw it on the people and said, behold, the blood of the covenant of the Lord has made with you a accordance with all these words. It's too much. All right, verse 9. Then Moses and Aaron, Nadab, Abihu, 70 of the elders of Israel went up, and they saw the God of Israel. There was under his feet, and they saw the God of Israel. There was under his feet as it was a pavement of sapphire stone, like the very heaven for cleanliness. He did not lay his hand on the chief men of the people of Israel. They saw the God of Israel. So I thought you can't see God. Okay. I'm learning so much right now. Reading through this is really opening my eyes to a lot. They saw the God of Israel. There was under his feet. That's crazy. Verses 10 to verse 10. And they saw the God of Israel. There was under his feet as it was a pavement of sapphire stone, like the very heaven for cleanness. And he did not lay his hand on the chief men of the people of Israel. They beheld God and ate and drank. Ate and drank. The Lord said to Moses, come up to me on the mountain and wait there, and I may give you the tablets of stone with the law and the commandments, which I have written for their instruction. So Moses rose with his assistant Joshua, and Moses went up into the mountain of God, and he said to the elders, wait here for us until we return to you. And behold, Aaron and Hur are with you. Whoever has a dispute, let him go to him. Whoever has a dispute, go to him. Okay. Then Moses went up on the mountain, and the cloud covered the mountain. The glory of the Lord dwelt on Mount Sinai, and the cloud covered it 6 days. And on the seventh day he called to Moses out of the midst of the cloud. Now the appearance of the glory of the Lord was like a devouring fire on the top of the mountain in the sight of the people. Moses entered the cloud and went up on the mountain, and Moses went on the mountain 40 days and 40 nights. So bro was gone for a whole month, more than a month in today's calendar. The Lord said to Moses, speak to the people of Israel that they take for me a contribution. From every man whose heart moves him, you shall receive the contribution from me. And this is the contribution that you shall receive from them: gold, silver, bronze, blue, purple, scarlet yarn, fine twined linen, goat's hair, tanned ram skins, goat skins, acacia wood, oil for the lamp, spices for anointing oil, for the fragrant incense, onyx stones, stones for setting, for the ephod, for the breastplate, and let them make me a sanctuary, that I may dwell in their midst, exactly as I show you concerning the pattern of the tabernacle, of its furniture, so you shall make it. So God commands the they shall make an ark of acacia wood, 2 cubits and a half shall be its length, a cubit and a half its breadth, and a cubit and a half its height. You shall overlay it with pure gold, inside, outside. You shall overlay, and you shall make on it a molding of gold around it. You shall cast 4 rings of gold for it, and put them on its 4 feet, 2 rings on the one side of it, and 2 rings on the other side of it. You shall make poles of acacia wood, overlay it with gold. You shall put the poles into the rings on the sides of the ark, to carry the ark by them. The poles shall remain in the rings of the ark, they shall not be taken from it. And you shall put into the ark the testimony that I shall give you. You shall make a mercy seat of pure gold, 2 cubits and a half shall be its length, and a cubit and a half its breadth. And you shall make two cherubim of gold, of hammered work shall you make them on the 2 ends of the mercy seat. Make 1 cherub on the one end, and 1 cherub on the other. Of one piece with the mercy seat shall you make the cherub on its 2 ends. The cherub shall spread out their wings above, overshadowing the mercy seat with their wings, and their faces one to another. Toward the mercy seat shall the face of the cherubim be. And you shall put the mercy seat on the top of the ark. In the ark you shall put the testimony that I shall give you. There I'll meet with you, and from above the mercy seat, from between the 2 cherubim that are on the ark of the testimony, I will speak with you about all that. I will give you in the commandments for the people of Israel. You shall make a table of acacia wood. 2 cubits shall be its length, a cubit's breadth, and a cubit and a half its height. You shall overlay with pure gold, and make a molding of gold around it. And you shall make a rim around its handbreadth wide, and a molding of gold around it, around the rim. And you shall make it for 4 rings of gold, and fasten the rings to the 4 corners at its 4 legs. Close to the frame the rings shall lie as holders for the poles to carry the table. You shall make the poles of acacia wood, and overlay them with gold, and the table shall be carried with these. And you shall make its place and dishes for incense, and its flagons and bowls with which to pour drink offerings. You shall make them of pure gold, and you shall set the bread of the presence of the table before me regularly. You shall make a lampstand of pure gold. The lampstand shall be made of hammered work. Its base, its stems, its cups, its calyxes, and its flower shall be of one piece. One piece with it, and there shall be 6 branches going out of its side. 3 branches of the lampstands out of one side of it, and 3 branches of the lampstand out of the other side of it. 3 cups made like almond blossoms, each with calyx and flower on one branch, and 3 cups and made like almond blossoms, each with calyx, flower on the other branch. So far the 6 branches going out of the lampstand, and on the lampstand inside there shall be 4 cups and made like almond blossoms with the calyxes and flowers, and a calyx of one piece with it, and under each pair of the 6 branches going out from the lampstands. Their calyxes and their branches shall be of one piece with it, and the whole of it a single piece of hammered work of pure gold. You shall make 7 lamps for it, and the lamps shall be set 7 lamps for it, and the lamps shall be set up so as to give light on the space in front of it. Its tongs and its trays shall be for pure gold. It shall be made with all these utensils out of a talent of pure gold. And to see that you make them after the pattern for them, which is being shown you on the mountain. So God is giving Moses some crazy revelation here. Like crazy, crazy revelation. All right, 26. 26, 27, 28. 3 more chapters and then we are done. So it's been an hour, 140, it's 100. It's almost been 2 hours. Not too bad. Moreover, you shall make the tabernacle with 10 cubits of fine twined linen and blue and purple scarlet yarns. You shall make them with the cherubim skillfully worked into them. The length of each curtain shall be 28 cubits, and the breadth of each cubit 4 cubits. All the curtains shall be the same size. 5 curtains shall be coupled to one another, and the other 5 curtains shall be coupled with one another. And you shall make hoops of blue on the edge of the outermost curtain in the first set. Likewise, you shall make loops on the edge of the outermost curtain in the second set. 50 loops you shall make on one curtain, and 50 loops you shall make on the edge of the curtain that is in the second set. The loops shall be opposite one another, and you shall make 50 clamps of gold, and couple the curtains one to another with the clamps to the clamps. I lost my clamp. I lost my spot. Clamps so that the tabernacle may be for a single hole. You shall also make curtains of goat's hair for a tent over the tabernacle. 11 curtains shall you make. The length of each curtain shall be 30 cubits, and the breadth of each curtain 4 cubits. The 11th curtain shall be the same size. You shall couple 5 curtains by themselves, 6 curtains by themselves. Wait, it just says 11. You shall couple 5 curtains by themselves, and 6 curtains by themselves, and the sixth curtain you shall double. The math is not mathing here. Oh, clamps. You also shall make curtains of gold here for a tent over the tabernacle. 11 curtains shall you make. The length of each curtain shall be 30 cubits, and the breadth of each curtain 4 cubits. The 11 curtains shall be the same size. You shall couple 5 curtains by themselves, and 6 curtains by themselves. And the 6th curtain you shall double over at the front of the tent. Wait, that's 12 then. Gotta write that down. The math is not mathing here. You shall make 50 loops on the edge. Okay, verse 9. You shall couple 5 cubits by themselves, 6 curtains by themselves, and the 6th curtain you shall double over at the front of the tent. You shall make 50 loops on the edge of the curtain that is uttermost in one set. and 50 loops on the edge of the curtain that is outermost in the second set. You shall make 50 clamps of bronze and put the clamps into the loops and couple the tent together that it may be a single hole. And the part that remains of the curtain of the tent, the half curtain that remains, half hang over the back of the tabernacle. Excuse me. And the extra that remains in the length of the curtain, the cubits on one side, and the extra that remains in the length of the curtain, the cubit on one side, the cubit on the other side, shall hang over the sides of the tabernacle, on this side and that side to cover it. And you shall make for the tent a covering of a tanned ram skin and a covering of goat skin on top. You shall make upright frames of the tabernacle of acacia wood. Acacia. It's not acacia, it's acacia. My bad, y'all. Acacia. Acacia wood. 10 cubits shall be the length of a frame, and a cubit and a half the breadth of each frame. There shall be 2 tenons in each frame for fitting together. So shall you do for all the frames of the tabernacle. You shall make the frames for the tabernacle, 20 frames for the south side. 40 bases of silver you shall make under the 20 frames, 2 bases under the frame of its 2 tenons, and 2 bases under the next frame for its 2 tenons. And for the second side of the tabernacle, on the north side, 20 frames and their 40 bases of silver, 2 bases under one frame and 2 bases under the next frame. And for the rear of the tabernacle westward, you shall make 6 frames. You shall make 2 frames for corners of the tabernacle in the rear, and they shall be separate beneath, but joined at the top at the first ring. Thus shall it be with both of them. They shall form the 2 corners. And there shall be 8 frames with their bases of silver, 16 bases, 2 bases under one frame, and 2 bases under another frame. You shall make bars of acacia wood, 5 for the frames of the one side of the tabernacle, 5 bars for the frames of the other side of the tabernacle, and 5 bars for the frames of the side of the tabernacle at the rear westward. The middle bar, halfway up, the frame shall run from the end to end. You shall overlay the frames with gold, and shall make their rings of gold for holders for the bars. And you shall overlay the bars with gold. Then you shall erect the tabernacle according to the plan for it that you were shown on the mountain. And you shall make a veil of blue and purple scarlet yarns of fine twined linen. It shall be made with cherubim skillful worked into it. And you shall hang it on the 4 pillars of acacia overlaid with gold, with hooks of gold on 4 bases of silver. And you shall hang the veils from the clasps. Is that clasps? And bring the ark of the testimony in there with the veil. And the veil shall separate for you the holy place from the most holy. You shall put the mercy seat on the ark of the testimony in the most holy place. And you shall set the table outside the veil and the lampstand on the south side of the tabernacle, opposite the table. And you shall put the table on the north side. You shall make a screen for the entrance of the tent of blue and purple and scarlet yarns, fine twined linen, embroidered with needlework. And you shall make for the screen 5 pillars of acacia, and overlay them with gold. Their hooks shall be of gold, and you shall cast 5 bases of bronze for them. So this is a lot here. Oh, man, it's getting to the grind of it. Man, tomorrow's going to be such a grind. Holy crap. Tomorrow's going to be such a grind. I'm going to have to lock in tomorrow. I'm going to have to lock in tomorrow because tomorrow's going to be crazy read. It's going to be a bunch of this, but like 20 chapters straight. Exodus 27. All right. You shall make the altar of acacia wood, 5 cubits long, 5 cubits broad. The altar shall be square, and its height shall be 3 cubits, and you shall make horns for it on its 4 corners. Its horns shall be of one piece with it, and you shall overlay with bronze. You shall make posts for it to receive its ashes. and shovels and basins and forks and fire pans. You shall make all its utensils of bronze. You shall also make it for a granting, a network of bronze, and on the net you shall make 4 bronze rings at its 4 corners. And you shall set it up. You shall set it under the ledge of the altar, so that the net extends halfway from the altar. And you shall make poles for the altar, poles of acacia wood, and overlay them with bronze. And the poles shall be put through the rings, so that the poles are on the 2 sides of the altar when it's carried. You shall make it hollow with boards, as it has been shown you on the mountain, so shall it be made. Verses 9, Exodus 27. You shall make the court of the tabernacle on the south side of the court. South side the court shall have hangings of fine twined linen, 100 cubits long for one side. Its 20 pillars and its 20 bases shall be of bronze, but the hooks of the pillars and their fillets shall be of silver. And likewise for its length on the north side there shall be hangings 100 cubits long, its pillars 20 and their bases 20 of bronze, but the hooks of the pillars and their fillets shall be of silver. And for the breadth of the court on the west side there shall be hangings for 50 cubits, with 10 pillars and 10 bases. The breadth of the court on the front of the east shall be 50 cubits. Verse 14. The hangings for the one side of the gate shall be 15 cubits. The hangings of one side of the gate shall be 15 cubits, with their 3 pillars and their 3 bases. On the other side, the hangings shall be 15 cubits, with their 3 pillars and their 3 bases. For the gate of the court there shall be a screen 20 cubits long, and of blue, purple, scarlet yarns, fine twined linen, embroidered with needlework. It shall have 4 pillars, and with them 4 bases. All the pillars around the court shall be filleted with silver. Their hooks shall be of silver, their bases of bronze. The length of the court shall be 100 cubits, the breadth 50, the height 50 cubits, with hangings of fine twined linen and bases of bronze. All the utensils of the tabernacle for every use, all its pegs and all the pegs of the court shall be of bronze. Okay. You shall command the people of Israel that they bring to you pure beaten olive oil for the light, that a lamp may regularly be set up to burn in the tent of meeting outside the veil that is before the testimony. Aaron and his sons shall tend it from evening to morning before the Lord. It shall be a statute forever to be observed throughout their generations by the people of Israel. So that is chapter 27. And the last chapter of today, Exodus chapter 28. And I need to put like a title to this. That way people know, like, I just gotta start figuring how do people join the. All right, last chapter of today. Then bring near to you Aaron your brother and his sons with him from among the people of Israel to serve me as priests. Aaron and his sons, Nabib, Abihu, Eleazar, Ithamar, and you shall make holy garments for Aaron your brother for glory and for beauty. You shall speak to all the skillful whom I have filled with the spirit of skill, that they make Aaron's garment to consecrate him for my priesthood. These are the garments that they shall make: a breastplate, an ephod, a robe, a coat of checkerwork, a turban, a sash. They shall make holy garments for Aaron and your brothers and his sons to serve me as priests. They shall receive gold, blue, purple, scarlet yarns, and fine twined linen. Um, And they shall make the ephod of gold, of blue, purple, and scarlet yarns, and of fine twine linen, skillfully worked. And it shall have 2 shoulder pieces attached to its 2 edges, so that it may be it may be joined together. And the skillfully woven band on it shall be made like it, and be of one piece with it, of gold, blue, purple, and scarlet yarns, and fine twine linen. All right, this is going to be very repetitive here. You shall take 2 onyx stones and engrave on them the names of the sons of Israel, 6 of their names on one stone, and the name of the remaining 6 on the other stone, in the order of their birth. As a jeweler engraves signets, so shall you engrave 2 stones with the names of the sons of Israel. You shall enclose them in settings of gold filigree, and you shall set the 2 stones on the shoulder piece of the ephod as stones of remembrance for the sons of Israel. And Aaron shall bear their names before the Lord on his 2 shoulders for remembrance. You shall make settings of gold filigree and 2 chains of pure gold twisted like cords, and you shall attach the cords chained to the settings. If you shall make a breastplate of judgment in skilled work, in the style of ephod, you shall make it of gold, blue, purple, scarlet yarn, and fine twine linen shall you make it. It shall be squared and doubled, they span its length and they span its breadth. And you shall set it 4 rows of stones. A row of Cedarius, topaz, cabricle shall be first row, and the second row on emerald, sapphire, diamond, and the third row of jacinth and agate and amethyst, and the fourth row of beryl and onyx and a jasper. They shall be set in gold filigree. There shall be 12 stones with their names according to the names of the sons of Israel. They shall be like signets, each graved with its name for the 12 tribes. You shall make for the breastplate twisted chains like cords of pure gold. You shall make for the breastplate 2 rings of gold. I lost my spot here. 2 rings of gold. Put the 2 rings on the 2 edges of the breastplate, and you shall put the 2 cords of gold and the 2 rings at the edge of the breastplate. The 2 ends of the 2 cords you shall attach to the 2 settings of filigree, and so attach it in front of the shoulder pieces of the ephod. You shall make 2 rings of gold and put them at 2 ends of the breastplate, on its inside edge next to the ephod. And you shall make 2 rings of gold and attach them in front of the lower part of the 2 shoulder pieces of the ephod, as it seem above the skillful woven band of the ephod. And they shall bind the breastplate by its rings to the rings of the ephod with a lace of blue, so that it may lie on skillfully woven band of the ephod, so that the breastplate shall not come loose from the ephod. So Aaron shall bear the names of the sons of Israel in the breastplate of judgment on his heart, when he goes to the holy place to bring them to the regular remembrance before the Lord. And in the breastplate of the judgment you shall put the Urim and the Thummim. And in the breastplate you shall put the Urim and the Thummim. They shall be on Aaron's heart when he goes in before the Lord, and bear the judgment of the people of Israel on his heart before the Lord regularly. The Urim and Thummim. You shall make the robes of the ephod of all blue. It shall have an opening for the head in the middle of it, with a woven binding around the opening, like the opening in a garment, so that it may not tear. On its helm you shall make the pomegranates of blue, purple, scarlet yarns around it, hems with bells of gold between them. A golden bell with a pomegranate, a golden bell and a pomegranate, and a hem of the robe. And it shall be on Aaron when he ministers, and its sounds shall be heard when he goes into the holy place before the Lord, when he comes out, so that he does not die. You shall make a plate of pure gold and engrave on it like the engraving of a signet, holy to the Lord. And you shall fasten it on the turban by a cord of blue. It shall be on the front of the turban. It shall be on Aaron's forehead. And Aaron shall bear any guilt from the holy things that the people of Israel consecrate as their holy gifts. It shall regularly be on his forehead, that they may be accepted before the Lord. You shall weave the coat and checker, a work of fine line, and you shall make a turban of the fine linen, and you shall make a sash embroidered with needlework. For Aaron's sons you shall make coats and sashes and caps. You shall make them for glory and beauty, and you shall put them on Aaron your brother and on his sons with him, and shall anoint them and ordain them and consecrate them, that they may serve me as priests. You shall make for them linen undergarments to cover their nakedness flesh. They shall reach from the hips to the thighs, and they shall be on Aaron and on his sons when they go into the tent of meeting, or when they come near the altar to minister in the holy place, lest they bear guilt and die. This shall be a statute forever for him and for his offsprings after him. That is Genesis chapter 3 all the way to chapter 28. We did it. We completed day 3. Let's go. It's already 2 o'clock. I started at 11. I started reading at 11:30, and it's already 2. Ooh. Holy moly. So we just went through we went through a lot today. We read through a lot today. Exodus 21 has a lot that I wrote down just so I can go back and just go back to reference. And yeah, Exodus is super interesting. I like how everything plays together. Like, especially like during the time of when they were in Egypt, just like how many times like God like showed his power, and it's like the Pharaoh would not listen. And it's like God gave him a chance and he repented. And the next thing you know, like he's not keeping to his word. And it happened like this it's like reoccurring like instance. I was like, bro, y'all are still trusting him? Like for real, for real? But that is Exodus chapter 3. And we just read all the way to 28. And tomorrow is going to be a crazy grind. Tomorrow's going to be a grind, because what I just read in the last 4 chapters is literally what Leviticus is and the rest of Exodus. Leviticus, Numbers, and Deuteronomy. So if I can get through those 3 books, if I can survive through those 3 books, I think I'm good here. But it's gonna get really repetitive. It's gonna get really tight to read, and it's probably gonna take me way longer to read the next maybe week. The next week is gonna be tough, because let me see on my plan, right? So yeah. Yeah, so yeah, by Monday. By Monday I'm supposed to be done with Deuteronomy. So Deuteronomy we're gonna be finishing with Deuteronomy on Monday. So the next 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the next week, 6 days is gonna be absolutely a grind, and I'm gonna have to stick to it and read it, and it's gonna be super hard. And I'm not looking forward to reading Deuteronomy at all. But yeah, if we can get through those, and then Chronicles is kind of tough because I've read First and Second Chronicles like a couple months ago. I mean, those two books are kind of repetitive too. And then I do like Kings. I haven't read Judges in a while. I haven't read Joshua in a while. I haven't read Samuel in a while. Yeah, so it's gonna. I haven't read Ezra in a while, so it's gonna get to a grind here. But I'm excited, and continue on the journey. Y'all subscribe subscribe, man. Subscribe to the channel. Subscribe to the journey. Um, yeah, I gotta stop here. Let me get some food now. Holy crap. Whew, that was good.